Hello, this is Stampy, and welcome to another behind-the-scenes video. For start off, if I sound a little bit weird, that's because I'm not very well as I'm recording this. I'm fine, I've just got a bit of a cold, so I'm not doing any proper recording, but I thought this might be a good day to do some designing, and I wanted to do a behind-the-scenes because it's going to be a minigame episode. So this is the idea that I have so far. Basically, the idea is trees. So something that is kind of funny in Minecraft and something that is so rarely, I don't know, even like talked about or kind of even joked about is the fact that you sometimes get stuck inside of trees. So if there is a tree here and it grows, basically it grows through you because it grows instantly and you get stuck, which is a very Minecrafty thing. It's completely unrealistic and quite funny, and I thought that there could be a mini game around it. So first things first, I need to test which trees you get stuck in. So oak, I believe you can sometimes get stuck in, but you don't always. So for this game to work, there needs to be a type of tree that you always get stuck in. So spruce, you don't seem to get always stuck in that either. We might have a bit of a problem here because if there's a type of tree that you don't always get stuck inside of, then that might ruin the idea. Can you grow a single jungle tree? You can. That won't do. Let's try an acacia. Oh, this one's definitely not going to work. That one's going to be way up in the sky. And dark oak, you can't grow them unless you grow them as a 4, and then they end up growing absolutely massive, so that won't do either. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem here. So I think spruce and oak are our best chances. So spruce you kind of get stuck in if you're on that edge there, but not properly. And oak, I think, is what you normally get stuck in, but it's a bit random to how low the branches are. So I might have to rethink things. So there could be an option of maybe having a ceiling. So let's say if we have a ceiling going across here, maybe that's going to limit the height the tree will grow, meaning that you always get stuck inside of it. Is it even going to be able to grow underneath here? I don't think the oak one is. Let's try the spruce one. Okay, the spruce one isn't either. Okay, so let's try this one higher, because another option is the people growing the saplings could be lower down, and then the people who would be getting stuck could be higher up, could be another option. I have no idea what the game is going to actually end up being, by the way. This is just all of the idea that I have at the moment. So yeah, it looks like these ones aren't growing at all. So it could be even like that there's ground up here. And because I think that if this ground was at this level, then there's a good chance you would end up always getting trapped in. But I definitely need to play around with a little bit. But yeah, as always, I wanted to share my initial idea as early as I could. So let me have a play around with a little bit and see if there is anything to go with here. And then I'll let you know what I came up with. Okay, I've continued doing some playing around. And I think the most consistent way to end up being trapped is with this method. So if I grab that sapling, and then go and give myself some of the bone meal. Basically, you can see that if the spruce is underneath here, I could be running around here. If someone's up in that top ring, they're almost always going to end up being trapped when I grow the spruce tree. As you can see, it grows around the outside and would have them trapped on. So I realized that the game would probably need to be... There'd probably need to be a reason for you to be standing around the outside of this area here. You know, but obviously it's risky because the tree could grow. And the thing, remember, I am using bone meal here, but in the game, you know, assumably, you know, the trees could just grow at any point anyway. So, you know, there's always going to be a risk to standing there, but I feel like bone meal should speed things along a bit. Otherwise, it might be really boring. So I built this little contraption, and the idea is let's say, you know, this could be on each side. I'm standing at where this pressure plate is. Basically, while I'm standing here, it's going to be firing... I can't remember what the block is, but blocks into that dropper. This dropper is linked up to a comparator, so the more items that are in it, the further the redstone spreads. So basically, if I stood here for long enough, eventually that redstone lamp would end up lighting up. So that was a way I came up with the idea, and then that's just a nice way to give you a reason to be standing here, and then obviously trying to make sure you don't dodge away. Well, make sure you do dodge away, sorry, when the tree's about to grow. Problem is, as it happens, as you're going to see here, let me just do a little bit of a double check before I scrap the idea. Yep, the tree will not grow. So having this pressure plate here somehow is blocking the tree from growing. I guess it counts as something being there. I love the way that, like, a little pressure plate is enough for the tree to not grow, but if there's a person standing there, the tree will still end up growing. So that idea didn't work, so I decided to change it around, and I've literally just built this mechanism where it's a similar idea, but around you there's 4 of these things, and as I press the buttons, it is basically doing the same thing, and it is firing items out. As you can see, basically there's a dropper pointing into a hopper. The reason I'm using a hopper rather than a chest or something is because there's less spaces in it. It means that it needs less blocks until it goes to light up the redstone lamp. So as this is set up at the moment, and I could probably play around with this, and as it is at the moment, you need to press the button 23 times until the redstone lamp goes on. So yeah, you can imagine someone standing here, and maybe it could be whoever turns on the most lamps, and I guess you could either just focus all on one lamp and then switch to the other one. It'd actually probably be better to switch quickly, because as you press the buttons, you can't really do it rapidly. You've got to press and wait, and then press and wait. So it would actually be better to go around in a square and kind of press them all, like press like this would be how to do it faster. And there's a little bit of a skill to that as well. And then maybe someone else will be trying to trap you. So the thing I need to work out is, for the game, do I want it to be a case of, like, say there are 2 of these and it's a 1v1 game where you are switching between pressing the button, and then maybe you can run over to bone mill the other person and then maybe go and run back here? Or is it like a 2v2 game where, you know, you have one player pressing the buttons and then the other one doing the bone mill, and maybe you can then switch around? Where are you going to get the bone mill from? Like, how is the game not going to end immediately as someone just runs up and just traps the other person? So there's a lot to work out. This really isn't a mini game yet, but I do like the overall concept of this game. So I'm going to continue to pursue it, at least for a little bit further. So yeah, I'm going to go and do that now, and then we'll see whether I do come up with something that will make this game fun rather than just standing in a circle pressing buttons. Okay, I've had a bit of a breakthrough in terms of how this could work as an actual game. So I was doing a bunch of playing around, just kind of building it, and then I realized I was spending way too much time just trying to build and work out specific mechanics rather than working out the gameplay, and I think I've just worked out a little bit better. So this is kind of my current design for the pedestals. So even though it's kind of blocked off with these steps, it will still grow fine. You could even actually fill in these areas there, would be fine. Yeah, let me talk this through. So I had the idea of, rather than it being like one person attacking and one person defending, I think on this platform there should basically be just the one platform and then 2 buttons, one for each team. So you could either stand there pressing that button or stand here pressing this one. The reason for the pit is, there's 2 reasons. One, it makes it much easier to be able to do the bone mill. You're kind of right on level with it, rather than, you know, having to be looking down there like that where you can't reach it very well. Also, it means you can't cheat and press the button on the ground, where I realize with all of these mechanics is the idea is you're standing up here to press the button, but you could just stand here and press the button. And of course you could end up moving it higher, but then you have to do it really, really, really high in order to make it so you can't jump and press the button. So that didn't really make much sense. Of course, I could set the rule saying, you know, you can only press the button when you're on the top here. And, you know, I'm pretty sure no one would cheat, but it's always better to not need to make those extra rules if you can kind of get around them in gameplay, which is what I'm trying to do here. And then, yeah, basically both players would be up here jumping to press the button, and then at any point they could also jump down to start trying to do the bone mill to try and trap the other person. So basically you're going to be here pressing the button, and then I guess turning around to make sure that they're not dropping down, or kind of switching into third person view, because you could literally go and just drop down really fast like that and just trap them. And then the way you'd get the bone mill, I thought could work into the scoring system. So what if every time you press the button, it fired out a bit of bone meal, which would then be carried away to somewhere, and the winner is the player that ends up with the most bone meal. So you could either use the bone meal to trap the other player, or you could just try and collect it the entire time and try and end up with more bone meal that way. Could be another way to do it. So I was kind of just doing another mock-up here. Like, imagine if every time you press this button, it fires out the bone meal, which goes along here, and then, I did not press that. I don't know why that menu came up. Yeah, that slides along there like that, and then gets put into a hopper. And then we could even do the same on the other side. Maybe have it so that this carries on, and maybe there's 2 of these platforms. And, you know, basically you can be switching between the 2 platforms, or if there's a tree grown on this one, you can then go and use the other one just to add a bit more strategy. Maybe even more than 2 platforms could be in order for. I think that just kind of has a nice kind of, choosing what to do with your resources. Do you save all your bone meal just to try and get all of the points? Or do you try to get your other opponent trapped and try and win that way? Maybe it could be if you end up getting trapped that, you can break out of it, but maybe that's minus 10 points. Or maybe if you're trapped, you've just outright lost. Maybe this is a 4-player game and, if you trap one person, they're out, but everyone else carries on playing. I don't know the exact specifics of it. Of course, if it was going to be 4-player, I'd have to kind of play around with the design of this. Not crazily. Like, I could continue the pit going around the outside here like this. And then maybe the way... I mean, we could even just add ladders on here like that. And then the way you get on the platform is just jumping up like that. Could be a way to do it. Or, maybe there could just be blocks on each side like this. And then the way you get on top is to simply go boom, boom like that. Oh, then again, you could probably stand here and there. That's the old buttony problem again. But yeah, there are ways around this problem. I think maybe it would work better as a 4-player game because otherwise, once someone's trapped, I like the idea of them. They have to stay trapped inside of the tree. It's just funny. It's just a funny idea. So I like the idea that maybe one person gets trapped and then the others carry on playing. So maybe there's 2 or 3 of these platforms. Yeah, I think that's probably the direction I'm going to go, or at least that's where my experimentation is going to come. One of the problems is at the moment is like my sketchbook world is pretty much full up, to be honest. And I really should start a new sketchbook world, but I like just having all of the old stuff around. It is handy. Like sometimes I want to go and check on some old redstone to see how I did something. But yeah, I'm going to have to do some mock-ups of this game here. But yeah, it's probably going to take up a little bit of space. So I'm going to have to try and maybe make some room somewhere. But yeah, I will deal with that. And let's see. Let's see where this idea goes. Okay, I did a bit more playing around, and I think that rather than doing the complicated system of carrying the bone meal around, especially if there's going to be, 4 of each color of these droppers, I think it's just much smarter just to make it drop straight down. So basically, I could do it so I press the button, and then the bone meal drops down. Yeah, this was the first mock-up. I've started building it a little bit bigger and kind of reshaping it a bit over here. So I did a mock-up just overhead drawing on my whiteboard, basically because I want this to be a square. So there's 2 of these now. Imagine there's going to be that one, and then one here and one there. So there's going to be like 4 of them. And I wanted to make sure that there's no advantage to any particular color because you're going to be running to the chest to get the bone meal. Basically in the middle area, so imagine like the middle square here, there's going to be 1 of each color in that middle square, which basically means it's going to be equal chance, basically you're never going to have to run further because of course if you're on this one here and I have to run down here to get the bone meal from there and then I'm running to one on the other side, I have to run further. So basically just to make that side of things completely balanced. And then yeah, this is the way I've done the droppers. Very, very simple. You can stand from here and you can press the button. It will drop it straight down from here into the hopper to put it inside of the chest. From here you cannot jump to press the button, I believe. There's a chance I might be able to press it in creative mode, but nope, even from there I can't reach it, so that's all jolly good. We have these kind of boxes on the corner that allow you to jump straight up, or if you're not so good at parkour, you can always just jump and use the ladders. And I guess we could even do ladders up the side there as well to make it really easier, but it's easy enough to be able to do that. If you can't do that, then maybe yeah, good luck playing Minecraft at all. Yeah, this is kind of the mock-up as I've done it. I've made it so that each of the sides are going to have a different color in the middle. So I started building the mock-up kind of as I did it before, where I was doing it all of the color. I then changed it to build it out of spruce, seeing as this is going to... I mean, we could even maybe call the game Spruce. You're getting spruced when you get stuck or something. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to use a different material, and it was just starting to look like the same with all of my other mini games. And the reason I did it at all like it so there is a particular color in the middle is to mark where you start from, because I think the way the game will start is everyone is going to have their sapling. They'll be holding it in their hand. I'll say 3, 2, 1, go. And from when I say go, you place down the sapling, so they're all placed at the exact same time. So, you can, of course, as soon as you start, place it down and then, hey, I'm going to run straight over and I'm going to join you on your side if you want. Like, that is totally up to you. Like, I don't want it to be seen as, oh, everyone has their side, everyone just stays on their side. That's not going to be very fun. But I could imagine maybe, that might be a bit of a problem. Maybe we need to make it so it definitely falls straight down. Let me go press this again. I thought I did it okay, this is annoying. This is annoying because if it goes like as I did it in my mock-up here, where it goes out, it does land in the hopper every single time. Sometimes it looks like it's going right on the very edge, but it does always land straight in. This isn't a big deal though. I can kind of just put some blocks around it to keep it in place. It's high enough, you know, I can just kind of go and do a little loop around like this, and I'm sure this will be enough that, you know, as long as it's going straight down those lines, it should land in the hopper every time. It just makes it a little bit uglier than it would be otherwise, but yeah, we can deal with that in the future. So yeah, basically this is the way I'm thinking of the game. I'm going to go and build the other two sides now. Of course, I'm not just going to have grass in the middle here. There's some decoration stuff I need to do, and then also I need to work out a good way to kind of count up the scores at the end and stuff. But overall, I am pretty happy with how this is all looking, and hopefully you are too. Also, not 100% sure on the colors. They're all quite dark and dull colors. I might change it to maybe some brighter colors, or maybe even work out where exactly in the Funland it's going to be built and make sure it's not clashing with other colors. But those kind of details, they don't really matter too much right now, to be honest. Like, I can kind of just build up the design, and it won't take long to play around with them later on. So don't get too set on exactly how it looks. But yeah, this is kind of the way I like it. As you can see, I kind of extended the pit out just to make sure there is no way to jump up to it and stuff like that. So yeah, let me build the other two, and then maybe work out what's going to be in the middle and how the score is going to be revealed. And then, you know what, we're not actually too far off. This is, you know, being a good first prototype for what this game might end up actually being. Okay, I just wanted to show you a quick update to show you how it looks at the moment. This is my first time actually really looking at it from ground level. There's lots of columns everywhere. So yeah, this is it with all four of them filled in. Hopefully you can now understand better what I was saying about, you know, having the equal amount of them in the middle. So basically, as you can see, there's a green one in the middle side there and there, purple there and there, red there and there, no, blue there and there, and red there and there. So basically, there's two of each color in the middle, which is basically what I was saying. I realized that having them arranged like this does leave a sort of I was just running around in the garden with Alex, and then in the middle here, there's like room for each of these chests. And I think the easiest way to count up the score is at the end, everyone runs into the middle, they put all of their bone meal inside of the chest, and then I can just look through the chest. Remember, I'm always designing these with the idea of them being built in my lovely world, and the fact that my helpers don't speak means that I need a very nice visual way to count them up. So just glancing through the chest is just going to be the quickest and easiest way for me to be able to see what everyone's score is. Of course, if you're, you know, playing online with your friends, whatever, you can just kind of say what the score is, but I don't have that luxury in my lovely world. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you it in the, you know, the stage that it's in at the moment before I go and kind of start decorating it a little bit more. I think sometimes I jump a little bit too far ahead in these behind the scenes. You don't kind of see the middle section. I put some spruce planks along here. No, not planks, sorry, logs. I think I'm just going to go for the mainly spruce for the design. Something that I didn't think of is once everybody's trapped, I guess it will likely be the case that everyone's trapped apart from one person. In that case, there needs to be a way just to let everyone know that the game is over. Once again, my helpers don't speak, so at first I had the idea of adding a note block in the middle, but what I think could be better actually is maybe a dispenser that fires a firework in the middle, just to make things a little bit different. So when you hear the firework go off, then you know you're allowed to break your way out of the tree, and then you can kind of count up everyone's score. So yeah, let me go and build that in. I need to build the thing still that makes sure the blocks do end up falling inside of the dropper. I want to try and do that as neatly as I can, and then kind of work out what the rest of the outside of the area and stuff is going to be. But yeah, so far so good. Thumbs up. Okay, I think I might be pretty much finished with the design of this mini game. So this is what it looks like on ground level as you were going to be playing it. I added some more covers for the dropper just to make sure it always lands inside of the hopper. I thought it would always land in it as it was like that, but it didn't, and I think it looks probably a little bit nicer with the dropper covered as well, so that's all good. Yeah, I filled in the lines all of the way. I added in some of the spruce facing directly up, which just kind of goes diagonally into the corner, and then the little jumped up bit is going to be that blocker as well, which looks good. I changed the middle, so originally you may remember that these were all like of the same colors. I realized I didn't like the look of it when we had the same color as one of the columns as in the middle, and also the only reason for the colors being like that was it would kind of mark where you start from. And I think that we should be smart enough to realize that, you know, if everyone just stands on their own one, it's going to be fine. Everyone just needs to remember which color they're going to be. So I think it just looks a little bit better like that. yeah, I added these stripes that kind of link up here. They also kind of link up there, and then they go along this way there like that. So nothing crazy. I always like to keep the patterns of relatively simple to do in videos. So basically, as long as I do the outside wall and then mark where the first pit is going to be, I can line everything else, you know, from there. I know that there's 3 blocks in between where these towers are, and then, you know, this obviously it meets in the exact middle. Like, it's going to be very, very easy to build this in my videos, which is good. It makes it easier for me because, like, a thing I don't really talk about is, like, the easier the thing is for me to build, generally the better the video is, because I can spend more time, you know, trying to talk about other stuff, or, you know, trying to be funny, or, you know, more time to play around. But if I'm doing something really complex, say if I was building this thing, whatever this thing is, you know, like, I need to have 100% of my brain power, you know, on building whatever this thing is. I actually don't know what this thing is. So if I'm building something which, you know, it doesn't look particularly simple, but it is in terms of building it, you know, then I can kind of be a little bit more creative in terms of what I'm saying and coming up with things. But yeah, apart from that, there's not too many other changes. I kind of built the wall around the outside and a few little columns. These are the chests that are going to have the spruce in. Probably should have an axe in as well, because you are going to have to cut away the spruce trees after they grow. I did do a little quick test just to make sure that the spruce was still growing, and it was absolutely fine. So yeah, the only other thing that I'd really need to do in terms of designing is coming up with a name. I had the idea of calling it maybe Stuck In, because it's like, get stuck in, and then you get stuck in a tree. Also could call it Stuck in a Tree. Spruce was just kind of a name I came up with, seeing as this mini game is all about spruce and kind of wouldn't work without spruce, which is good, because it is my favorite type of wood inside of Minecraft. But overall, I'm happy with the way it looks like. I think it's going to be a pretty fun game. Like, I know it's not going to be like a top tier game. Like, it's kind of like a silly novelty game almost, the fact that you're trying to get people stuck in a tree. But I think it will certainly be fun for the 20 minutes or so we spend playing it in the video, which is kind of all you really need with a lot of these games, kind of a silly fun concept, and hopefully this is going to be it. It's also quite good that it's quite a specific, unique thing, you know, a game about being stuck inside of a tree, because it means it kind of saves some of the more obvious mini games that I haven't got round to doing yet. You know, I can still do them in the future. Anytime I come up with an idea which isn't particularly obvious, it makes me happy, because it will extend the life of, you know, my lovely world for how long I can continue to come up with, you know, original mini games. So that's made me happier as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Sorry at the beginning, I had a bit of a cold. This is the next day on, and I still do have a bit of a cold, but I am improving, so hopefully my voice has gradually got better throughout the video. So not only have you seen behind the scenes of me designing a minigame, you have also seen behind the scenes of me recovering from having a cold. So hopefully you enjoyed that as well. Sadly though, that's going to be the end of this one here. As always, there's going to be links to me building it in my lovely world, and then us actually playing it if you want to see what the game ended up being like when we actually played it in my lovely world. And then of course there's going to be a bunch more behind the scenes videos as well if you enjoyed this and want to see more like it. But for now, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!